Hello, everyone. Good morning. Actually, it's good afternoon. Today is Sunday. Today is Sunday, October the 2nd, 12:30 p.m. I'll just want to briefly explain about or discuss an overview about what we have learned so far. Of course, this is not the only material that you need to review, but you student need to study from all the material that we have covered so far up to this week because midterm is next week. All right. Without further ado, let me go to slide number 2. Okay, type of internet services. Basically, there are two type of internet services: the broadband and narrowband. Narrowband is a slow-speed internet access. In the old days, we use a dial-up connection. The speed is usually 56 kilobit per second. I remember when I was in college, if I want to go to the internet, I need to use the phone line using dial-up, make sure the connection works, and then go to the internet. That is in the old days, 10 to 20 years ago. But nowadays, everything is broadband. All right. So I want to mention three things here that you may need to know. Okay. The first one is the DSL, right? DSL, cable, and the fiber, right? Fiber connection. Let's go to slide number 3, right? DSL internet is slow, but is most affordable. In the valley, the one that provide that service is actually AT&T. Okay, let's double check it. The AT&T DSL McAllen, right? McAllen. Let's find out there. What's the speed of that? I'm going to click here. The speed is about, let me see what they provide here. 3201, right? Well, let's use Mission here. Let's see if they cover this. That's just a random number. No, it's not available. All right. Let's choose other number here. Uh, let's check 3201 West Pecan Boulevard, right? West Pecan, Norman McAllen, right? Uh, let me see. West Pecan Boulevard, right? McAllen, Texas. It's not in there, right? Let me see. McAllen, Pecan. 3,000. Here, let's put this one as Pecan, all right? Because some of the services are not available. All right, here we go. Apparently 3,000 Pecan Boulevard, they have a DSL connection. The speed is up to 100 megabit per second, $55 per month, right? They mentioned that is excellent for Bing streaming on multiple device, multiplayer gaming, working from home, and sharing large file, right? No annual contract, right? AT&T, all fine. All right. So coming back to my PowerPoint presentation, DSL is a little bit, well, it's not actually slow actually, but it's the most affordable. The other one is cable internet, right? Cable internet is based with TV bundles. In the Valley, one of the company that offer the service is Spectrum, previously known as Time Warner. And then the fiber optic, right? Fiber optic residential internet is the newest technology in the broadband market, and it's expensive, high-speed cables made of fibers and glass that reach residents' home, right? Fiber is commonly used in major cities such as San Diego, Los Angeles. I believe Austin have that. So, or New York City. So you may need to check with the provider, right? Check in the check with your provider, see if they provide a fiber optic internet service for residential. Okay, so these are the most common three type of broadband. Another one there is satellite. Okay, satellite. This there's also another common one. As you can see that uh, DSL. Okay, my information is a little bit out of date. As you can see that the AT&T now they can provide up to 100, right? So maybe here I can put up to 100 megabit per second. And let's check the cable modem, right? Let's check the cable modem. I'm going to go here and check Spectrum. Okay, Spectrum, uh, cable, Macallan, right? Cable, internet, Macallan. Let's double check that. How much they charge that? Order internet. Right. I think they have a different thing, different speed, right? All right, here we go. Enjoy faster starting speed with Spectrum Internet. Spectrum now delivering internet starting speed up to 300 megabit per second, right? High-speed internet can be up to even 1 gig, right? So they actually provide you up to 1 gig. I think this is for business, right? Uh, Hold on. This is up to 300. This is internet TV, and the most common one is up to 300 megabit. So I'm going to revise this up to 300 megabit per second. All right. So let's double check that. I pay about I pay about $75 per month to get the internet connection. All right. Uh, This is good to do video streaming if you like to play game. Okay. Oh, here we go. Apparently, Spectrum, they have a different type of service, right? Spectrum Internet, you can have the Ultra, right, which is up to 500 megabit per second. Even now, in certain area, they may have up to 1 gigabit per second, depending on how much you are willing to pay per month and whether they are also available in your area. All right. So as you know, the technology is constantly changing, so you always need to double check that. Up to 300, 500. Now it's up to even 1 gig, right? 1 gig is 1000 megabit per second. All right. Let's check fiber optic cable here. Uh, Fiber optic internet. Let's check it out. Austin, how much they pay? Uh, Fiber internet provider in Austin, Texas, right? So Austin, Texas. Okay, let's check it out here. Up to 5 gig megabit per second, 5 gig bit per second. So you have to check whether they are available in your area. Let let double check that shop for the internet. Okay. I think I saw here earlier that here we go. AT&T fiber internet, right? Deliver speed is up to 5 gig, up to 5 gigabit per second, right? Wow, that's pretty fast. So as you can see that now you can be up to, right? Up to 5 gigabit per second because it depends on your devices as well, your routers and everything. As you can see that we have different type of internet service, right? So make sure you know what are those, right? And also the speed, right? There is another one, it's called satellite. If some people live in a rural area, they may not have AT&T or Time Warner or Spectrum companies over there. So the only way that they get internet access is through using a satellite. All right. So that's one of the benefits of having satellite. Nowadays, regardless where you live, you can still have access to the internet. Even Elon Musk now, they have called Starlink Internet. You can check to their website. It's called Starlink Internet by Elon Musk. So you probably can subscribe there. Okay, so let's check the speed of the internet here in the office, because currently I'm in the office. Check internet speed. Okay. See what's the download and the upload. Okay, go. Wow, we have a very high speed internet access, because I usually come to the office for a few hours, 1 to 2 hours, to prep for my upcoming week material for my classes. So we don't see a lot of students coming to campus. All right, my download is 153 megabit per second and my upload is 931 megabit per second. That's pretty fast, right? So now you know how to check the speed of the internet. All right, let's go to the next one. Next one is cloud computing. Okay, cloud computing, that means when companies or individual store or host their services online or on the internet, we call it that cloud computing. Some of the main reason companies or organizations use cloud computing because they are convenient and reliable, right? For example, the Blackboard system, the Blackboard learning management system that you and I use right now are stored in the cloud, right? We used to host Blackboard in STC, but I think about 10 years ago, we moved that to the cloud. One of the reason is because we are living in the hurricane zone. So sometimes if our school is affected by the weather increment, student and faculty staff are still able to connect to the Blackboard system. Okay, uh, so student and faculty or staff can still communicate and have access in a limited capacities. Okay, so that's one of the reasons that we moved to the cloud. I think many of you already use cloud services. For example, your Yahoo email, your Gmail, right? Your iCloud, if any one of you are using Apple, so you're probably using iCloud. I myself use OneDrive. I use Google Drive. I use Microsoft OneDrive. Okay. So those are in the cloud system. Okay. Uh, the problem with the cloud storage or cloud computing services is a compliance. Okay. Because sometimes we don't know where do the cloud service provider hold their data. They may be stored in India. They may be stored in China. They may be stored in the Philippines, and we don't know. So compliance can be an issue. So if one day you work for a company or an organization, then you may need to ask them, right? Where is your data center, right? Uh, for example, we have a cloud computing service with Rackspace. Rackspace is located in San Antonio, Texas. Okay, so we know that our data center is still in the United States, but some company or organization like hospital, they may have to comply with the rules and regulation, such as HIPAA, Health Information Portability Act. That means they have to keep the information, the privacy of the patient data confidential. So you have to double check that with the compliance department. Okay? So those are cloud computing. Nowadays, I think you see that a lot of company already implement cloud computing. If they have not, they may be planning to move their services to cloud services. Okay? I see that I noticed that some company are doing hybrid. Part of the data, the most essential data or services, they put it locally on premises, and sometimes they put also in the cloud. Okay, so depending on the management strategies and decision. Okay, and what is their vision and mission and what are their goals, you always need to calculate the pros and the cons, right? The pros and the cons, and make decision based on that. All right, so let's move on to the next one. The next one is maintaining and protecting your PC. Okay. Well, I think many of you knows this. If you want to protect your PC, you need to have a Windows update on a regular basis. Let me show it to you. Windows update here. Window update. If you can see that, we need to update this Windows on a regular basis. You can schedule this once a week. Okay. Why we need to do that? If you don't update your window on regular basis, then if there is a new viruses or malware, then your PC or your server may get infected by that. So it is very important and crucial that organization and PCs belongs to individual or regular user. They need to update their window on a regular basis, because when Microsoft or when company release their update is usually to enhance the features or to close the vulnerability, right? If there is some loophole or a security issue or a vulnerability issue, they can patch them, all right? That way that the system is immune or protect from all the problem. Okay? Antivirus and anti-malware, that is a good thing. That is very important as well. Let me show it to you. There is a company called FileHippo.com, right? If you don't have an antivirus, I would suggest you download from this website, FileHippo, and it's free, right? In my house, I also use this. Top program, you can look at here, right? What are the top program that a lot of people download, right? Let me see what I usually download. Okay, I have this Avast antivirus or AVG antivirus is also good. Registry Cleaner, this is also important. This is, let me click this, okay, so I can show it to you. What is Registry Cleaner? CC Cleaner is a free PC optimizer that frees up space on your computer by removing unnecessary files such as cookies, unused data, and temporary files. So basically, this program helps to improve the performance of a computer. I would suggest that students download those programs, all right? 99% of the problem can be prevented by maintaining and protecting your PC by following the following tasks that I just mentioned to you. Backup your data. That is very important, right? Using OneDrive or Google Drive, those are very important. Run Registry Cleaner, I think I just mentioned to you. CC Cleaner, actually, this one is not, this is CC Cleaner, they call it, right? CC Cleaner. They also clean up all the registry. So this is very important, right? If you follow this step, it will protect 99% all the time. Of course, we also need to train our user not to click a phishing link, right? Sometimes uh, we, sometimes you and I or any other people also receive a link, a suspicious link or attachment. So do not click that because they may contain a virus or a phishing, right? Be careful with that. Ransomware also very uh, important to know, okay? Because Many company, if they do not train their employee well, when they click some attachment or go to a certain website that has ransomware, it will lock the system. And what the hackers ask is they ask you to send money through Bitcoin, right? Maybe they ask you 10,000 Bitcoin or 500 Bitcoin. As you know that Bitcoin now, one Bitcoin costs about $20,000. So it's always a good idea that we protect ourselves, okay? Uh, to make sure that uh, our computer or our network are protected all the time, right? Sometimes it's difficult to protect 100 to have a foolproof 100% protection, but at least we need to try our best to protect them. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Application software. Application software is basically a type of software that allows users to perform specific tasks, right? Application for desktop, laptop, or for mobile app, right? Let me give you some example of application software. We have productivity software. Productivity software example are Office 2016, right? The one that you use, that you and I use right now, Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Excel, Access database that we're gonna cover in a few more weeks, right? Those programs are considered productivity software, right? Because we use that to help uh, user to do their normal activities, business operation, or normal daily life. Games software, right? Angry Bird, Halo, and Solitaire. I think some of you maybe play this type of uh, games. Okay, and then we have mobile app, Instagram, Venmo, and all other things. So application software. Do not get confused with the system software. System software is a program that is used to control the activities of the hardware, such as Windows operating system, antivirus program, anti-malware program, right? Mac OS, Android OS, Apple OS, those are called system software. Okay? Let me double check what they use here in STC for the antivirus. Here, we use Windows security, right? Windows come with that as well, right? Windows come with their antivirus nowadays, right? See, we have virus protection as well. So we use this. In the past, we used McAfee. I don't know if we still use McAfee now. Let's find out if we still use McAfee. Yeah, let me see. McAfee. Oh yeah, here we go. We use McAfee Endpoint Manager. As you notice that, we also use Endpoint Manager here. See? Oh, enter the administrator password to access the McAfee Endpoint security setting. So in addition to Windows antivirus, we also use McAfee Endpoint Security. As you can see that I cannot log in because I don't have an admin right. Okay. Uh, when you work for a company, they usually give us only a normal user or a regular account, unless you are an administrator of a school in the IT department, then they're the one who manage this. All right. So McAfee is one of the most popular one also. McAfee and Norton. Okay, let's go to the next one. Client server. Client server is a distributed application structure that partition tasks and workload between the provider of resources or service is called a server, and the server requested called client. So all the PC that we have here right now is all clients. Client requests data to the server, and the server provide data back to the client, right? For example, when I check my email, I'm using my PC and check to the Yahoo server. When I enter my username and password, the Yahoo server will provide back my email services to my desktop. So this is called client and server. Make sure that you understand the concept of client and server, because this is one of the most important concepts. All right. Okay, boot process. The boot process is the process when you turn on the PC for the first time until it's fully loaded, right? So we need to understand the boot process, because so we can troubleshoot why we have problem when we turn on the computer and the computer hang. Okay, because they have uh, to process these four phases, right? The first one is the PC firmware is in charge and initiate post-test. Post-test is power on self-test and load all the firmware setting. This is to make sure that all the requirement to turn on the PC, all the memory, hard disk, everything are connected well, so we can use the PC. So the first one is power on self-test. After that, we do a it load Windows Boot Manager. The Boot Manager is load, right? Boot Manager. So first you turn on, and then you do power on self-test. After that, it load the window Boot Manager, boot environment, right? After finish to the phase number 2, they go to the phase number 3, which is window operating system loader. Then it start loading the operating system, and finally Windows OS, right? So that boot to the main OS or updated. Sometimes we need to update the operating system. So this is called the boot process, right? Boot process is the process where we first time turn on the PC until it's fully loaded. Power on self-test, boot manager, right? And window operating system loader, okay? Including the kernel. Kernel is the main part or program of the operating system. Uh, Here in this chart, you see the BIOS and UEFI. BIOS is basic input output system, and UEFI is because when you want to change the boot process, you have to press escape or F2. When you turn on the PC, you need to press the F2 or escape so you can go to the BIOS or to the UEFI to change the boot process if you like. But normally, regular user will not go to the BIOS and UEFI, right? This is the newest one. This is the old one. Okay. When you bring your PC to the technical support, they usually go to this one, the configuration or the BIOS mode. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Mac installation. Well, the installation file is usually uh, saved to your PC in the .dmg format, right? This is a standard extension for Mac PC. So if any one of you are using Mac, the installation is not .exe, because in Windows it's usually .exe, right? But in Mac we use .dmg. So I just want you to be aware of. And the last one that I want to mention is the latest version of Mac, right? We have Monterey. Before Monterey is Big Sur. Before Big Sur is Catalina. Before Catalina is Mojave, right? So this is the last six few years of Mac OS. In Windows, the latest one is Windows 11, right? We have Windows 11. Before Windows 11, Windows 10, right? Before we do Windows 10 is Windows 8. We don't have Windows 9. Before Windows 8, we have Windows 7. Notice that most of this operating system is updated every 2 years. So that's why the life of the computer usually like 5 years, right? Less than 5 years. If you still have your PC more than 5 years, that's pretty good. But some of this operating system need a new hardware requirement. Like for Windows 11, uh, if you have an old PC, you cannot just upgrade it to Windows 11 right away. You have to ensure the system requirement for Windows 11. Then if your PC is meet the requirement, then you can upgrade it. I think I mentioned that to you in my previous last week lectures. All right. Well, I think that is basically a little bit of review of everything from week 1 up to week now, right? Now I think week 7, right? We are in week 7. So please take time to learn all of this material. I know it has a lot of information. Uh, I usually study uh, piece by piece or little by little. Okay, so I do not study all the material in one chunk. I usually just study every other day, but make sure you follow through it. Okay. Well, hopefully that this discussion or lecture is informative to you, and email me and call me if you have any questions, right? And please don't forget to work on your research project with your team member. Start early. Thank you and have a great weekend.